Hi, I'm Wayne Allen Root for Personal Liberty. As a kid, we used to say sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. We were wrong. Words are dangerous. Words can be deadly when put in the mouth of world leaders. Words, or a lack of them, can inspire terrorism. As radical Islamic jihad threatens our country and our countries around the world, our children, our free speech, there's a new Neville Chamberlain. His name is Barack Hussein Obama. The problem with this modern-day Neville Chamberlain is that he says things and doesn't say things that matter. The words he uses to praise Islam and the words he refuses to say to denounce radical Islam are dangerous to America. Ask any general. The key to fighting a war is you got to know your enemy. In the history of warfare, no one's ever been afraid to say the enemy's name out loud. Until now. Until Barack Hussein Obama. Why can't Obama connect the words Islam and terrorism? It's not as if there isn't enough evidence. 9/11 was Islamic terrorism. The Madrid train bombing was Islamic terrorism. The London subway bombings were Islamic terrorism. The Mumbai India hotel attack was Islamic terrorism. The Kinyan Mall attack was Islamic terrorism. The Benghazi embassy attack was Islamic terrorism. The burning of entire villages and wholesale murder of women and children in Nigeria, Islamic terrorism. The murder of over 100 little children at one school in Pakistan on one day, Islamic terrorism. The attack on Canada's parliament, Islamic terrorism. The Boston bombing and Fort Hood massacre, Islamic terrorism. The beheadings and slaughter of thousands of women and children by ISIS, Islamic terrorism. The attack on the coffee shop in Australia, Islamic terrorism. The attack and murder only days ago of cartoonists in Paris, very much Islamic terrorism. There's no doubt they're taking credit for it. If Obama can't put those two words together, if he can't say Islamic and terrorism in the same sentence, something's really wrong. Remember, this is the same guy who denies that ISIS, which starts with the word Islamic, has anything to do with Islam. It's clear to anyone but an idiot or a liberal, I know, I repeat myself, that the world's enemy is radical Islam. But sadly, it's more than just radical Islam. Let's stop being politically correct. Islam itself is a problem. Millions of Muslims who aren't quote-unquote radical support and even celebrate intolerance and terrorism. This is a battle being fought since the Crusades. It's nothing new. Even Thomas Jefferson, the original libertarian isolationist, made an exception for Islam. Jefferson wanted no wars, no big military expenditures, no entangling alliances. Yet under Jefferson, we fought 5 long years of war versus Islamic terrorists called Barbary pirates. So as you can see, nothing has changed. Whether you call it Islam or radical Islam or jihad or fundamental Islam or Barbary pirates, the fact is Islam is producing hate, intolerance, and death. Yes, it's the radical faction that wants to kill us, murder our children, drop gays from rooftops, stone women who show an inch of ankle, throw acid in the face of girls who dare to try to go to school, and worst of all, murder anyone who speaks or writes or even draws cartoons with which they disagree. But there's more at work here than just a few radicals. I was born a Jew. My relatives were murdered in Germany. Not every German was a Nazi murderer, but most every German went along with the Holocaust. They knew exactly what was happening. They let it happen. They listened to Hitler talking about it in speeches. They remained silent while 6 million Jews were let off and tortured and enslaved and robbed and gassed. They were complicit in the murder. And what's happening today is eerily similar. Not all Muslims are bad people. Most will never murder anyone. Most will never be a terrorist. But like the Germans of the Nazi era, most Muslims remain silent about the horrific acts of other Muslims. Even Muslims in America are guilty of silence. Have you seen any marches in Detroit by American Muslims denouncing terrorism? I haven't. That makes them complicit. You're either for intolerance, terrorism, and murder, or you're against it. And that's why what Obama doesn't say is such a problem. Like America's Muslims, he's silent. He too refuses to place blame on Islam. He refuses to call it what it is, Islamic terrorism. He refuses to call out American Muslims for not taking a strong public stand against terrorism. Obama's words, or lack of them, are dangerous, but his actions are even more dangerous. Here are just a few. When a unity rally against Islamic terrorism was held in Paris this past Sunday, more than 40 world leaders were there, but not Obama, Biden, Kerry, or Holder. The U.S. sent no one. Even Turkey's prime minister, from a Muslim country, participated in the rally that Obama had no time to join. Meanwhile, Obama sent 3 White House officials to the funeral of thug Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. What was the message to the world? Maybe the important question is, what message was Obama sending to radical Islamic terrorists? Obama has left our borders wide open for terrorists. ISIS and Al-Qaeda terrorist cells are very likely in this country right now, ready to attack. Don't take my word for it. Don't take the Tea Party's word for it. Democratic U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein just announced it. It's a shame she doesn't understand her own president is the enabler. Obama, in concert with the United Nations, has suspended immigration laws that apply to other kinds of people to import thousands of Muslims from war zones like Iraq, Somalia, and Syria. He's bringing the same violent, radicalized Muslims to America that have led to crisis intolerance terror attacks in Europe. Obama has repeatedly condemned Israel for defending herself. It was Obama in 2010 who criticized the now infamous French magazine Charlie Hebdo for daring to publish cartoons offensive to Islam. It was the Obama administration who banned the word Islamic from being associated with terrorism in FBI, police, and military manuals. Obama's negotiations with Iran over its right to build a nuclear bomb can best be described as surrender. Obama is releasing radical Islamic leaders from Gitmo, many who have already vowed to kill more Americans. He's even freed, get this, a nuclear terrorist. What is Obama's agenda? It certainly isn't to protect Americans, our country, or our children. Does Obama suffer from complete ignorance, crippling political correctness? Is he blinded by his childhood in Indonesia? I don't know, but I know something is very wrong. Forget I am Charlie. We should all be marching and asking publicly, who is Obama? And what is Obama's agenda towards Islamic terrorism? Is he on our side? Is he here to help us or to hurt us? I'm Wayne Allen Root for Personal Liberty. See you next week. God bless America.